everyone. This is Travis.
Hi, this is Jonathan.
And we'd like to welcome you to the 100 Ways to Love a Cat podcast.
It's the podcast that eventually plays the song 100 Ways to Love a Cat.
There's no better reason to show up than that right there. I'm excited, as I am every week, to hear it again. It's one of those songs, once you hear it once, you're like, that's a clever, that's a good, you know what I mean? It's like, what do they call it? An ear bug that gets in your ear, and so at first it gets your attention, but I would say you'd have to listen to it a few times before you really start to
appreciate it.
Exactly.
Because it gets your attention. You're like, what? But that's not always good when someone gets your attention. Hey.
Sure. Snapping your fingers. Nobody likes that.
But
unless it's to rhythm if the song and they snap their fingers in the song, that's different than somebody just snapping. Because, some people snap in songs, the snapping part of a song. Not all of songs have snapping in it, but some songs where they snap instead of dance or. But anyway, yes, that is different. Some people find enjoyment and pleasure in that, as opposed to somebody like, get over here. Yeah, that kind of snap, I can't.
Yeah, like a joyful snap. Yeah, no, that's true. And I guess that's what this song is. It's a joyful snap, and maybe you get it right then, and maybe it takes you a second, but then you come back, and you're like, oh. I don't think anyone doesn't like it at first. I think everyone likes it from jump, but I think sometimes people don't appreciate that it's a masterpiece until maybe 2 or 3 extra listens. And then by the time you get to wherever we're at, 14 or 15,000 listens, you're
hovering around there, absolutely.
Trance, and you just go, whoa, every time you turn it. It's sort of like when you play a music and the dogs are trained to respond to it.
Oh, you're talking about for the Christmas where the Jingle Bells.
Yes. It's one of those types of deals where you just can't help. You hear it and you're like salivating, like that's my favorite song.
Now I'm not trying to say that our song is better than that, because obviously that's a Christmas classic. It's been on the radio for years. You hear it every Christmas. Ours is not specific to a holiday. Now, granted, you can hear the dogs bark the Jingle Bells any time of the year. You're welcome to do that. But it's primarily played on the radio. 100 Ways to Love a Cat can be played all year round.
Christmas?
Yes.
June, summer night. A lonely Thanksgiving.
It never dates itself.
March before Easter.
And I'm glad we have Christmas songs. I don't want people to think I don't like, because I love that. I love all the classic Christmas songs. But I'm just saying, I like it around Christmas. That's when I like it. I don't have to have it, year round. Not like I have to have this song.
No, well, we're going to have it year round because this podcast is here to stay, and we're going to play this song every week for you. So that you can
hear it
and I thought you were gonna like it. I
didn't know. Like it? Yes, absolutely. And today we're a little excited. Today's a little extra special for this podcast. If you're a listener or if you're joining us now, we are in our new dig, so to speak. We're in a new location, our new podcast location, where we'll be recording these for. I mean, it looks now indefinite. I know it looks like
we've had so many locations.
We had to move. We did it at my house, and there's
your
not really
place.
Room there. There's not any room,
No, just to walk around almost.
I know. Well, I mean, and then you add this. Yes.
And then we did it at the municipal building, and we did it at the concession stand, at the softball field, at the women's prison. And then we did it back in the shed, and then we did it in the front shed, and then we did it at the neighbor's shed, and we had a shed run, we called it, and said, you know what, no more sheds.
Enough. Exactly.
This is a song that deserves better than a shed.
I think so.
So now we're at the podcast kiosk at the Parsons Grove Mall.
And let me explain to people, when I was mentioning earlier, I said too loud there, the women's prison, too loud, people talking, concession stand, at the people are playing sports and people are screaming. There's nothing you can do that. We're at the part of the mall where we're on our left. I think that used to be like was it shoes? Some kind of shoes. It is closed down. And to our right, that definitely used to be some kind of yogurt place. It is. We're at the section. We're on the end of the mall where both of these particular stores are closed down. Now there may be some coming in, but for now, and it's quite. You should see the look on some people's face when they, because you don't know if it's your first time at this mall. You walk down, you see the kiosk, and you come down here and look at us, and they're coming down here wondering what they can buy.
Because they're looking for some kind of shoes, which is closed down.
That's closed.
And some kind of yogurt, which is also closed down.
They often come here thinking at the kiosk that we're serving the yogurt. Like, no, we don't have any yogurt.
We do a podcast
We do a podcast. You're welcome to join us and listen. But most people are at the mall to shop, so they don't.
They want yogurt or they're looking for shoes.
Which is fine. That's fine. Anyone that wants to listen is welcome to. But we love this location. I love being here.
This side of the mall, truth be told, could never keep a store, especially an anchor store.
They haven't yet. They haven't had any luck. That's for sure.
But they used to have McFoogles, and that's long gone. That was when I was a kid.
Forever. McFoogles has been. I know. Remember, I used to go there for the pizza, and I used to go there for the sherbet. Best in town.
That was back when they had a sherbet bar. They had the sherbet ball at the sherbet bar in the back of the store. And so what you do is you'd put it was a plastic, it was for the kids to kick around. They'd put the sherbet.
This place was geared for kids. This was kind of like those.
That you drop off your kids and then you'd go look for your dresses.
Right, exactly.
And there was a Chuck E. Cheese type character.
Mr. McFoogle, I thought, wasn't it?
Right, but he was a big monster.
Yes, you think it's a man, and it's not. Yes, absolutely. He was big and furry. He had,
and the thing is, you couldn't eat your sherbet in the store. That's why they put it in the sherbet ball, because the sherbet ball was refrigerated or like a cooler, and you could kick it around and play with it and be rough. And Mr. McFoogle would come out and kick it and be rough with you too. But the thing was, you never could open it and get that sherbet out. That was for the ride home.
Mm-hmm.
Because those dresses were expensive. People forget.
The sherbet, I'm telling you, as a kid, I didn't realize it. Of course, where do you want to have your birthday? Your big 15-year-old birthday's coming up. Where do you want to go? And I'm like, McFoogles, what are you talking about?
Which was great because your mom could get a new bra or whatever she needed, and the kids could kick the sherbet ball around, and then the monster would come out. What a time.
The sherbet ball is what gets the kids out of there, because kids don't want to leave that place. They want to stay there and play the games and throw the darts and all of the roll, the thing that they used to roll. You can't get a kid out of a Chuck E. Cheese. But once you get a sherbet ball, you're going to be hungry for that sherbet ball. And you have to wait until you get home. So it's the only time you saw kids in a place like this and, Mom, I'm ready to go. I want to eat this sherbet. And,
Boy, this is really bringing back a lot of memories.
Smart
I knew
thinking.
it would. I knew it would when we got the podcast kiosk going over here. I knew that because malls are made from memories, and that should be the motto. And somebody should tell the mall management that.
That sounds good, actually. The management here is fantastic, by the way. We got to throw them numerous compliments for allowing us to be here. And
Rachel and
this.
Mimi have been great.
Dan, don't forget Dan.
Dan in security. And Charlie in maintenance, and Lisa in maintenance, and we had most of maintenance up here when we had that spill.
The janitorial staff is who you're referring to.
Everybody's been great.
The
thing is, we're right outside of the restrooms, and there's not this side of the mall could never keep a store, and these restrooms don't get a lot of use. So when somebody wanders in and uses it, it's usually stuff backs up, and it just sort of flows right into the kiosk here.
Maintenance has been on it.
They're on it. They're Johnny on the spot. But it is
There's never been. We've had to call them when it happens.
No, they don't even really patrol this area. Now, if the yogurt hose comes in like they're promising, then they'll be over here because everybody's going to want to come down here and get some of that yogurt hose.
I'm looking forward to it. I've never had it before, so I'm
it's
wanting
better.
to try
Its
it.
Yelp reviews are much better. Look up yogurt hose on Yelp. Much better. Much, much better than some kind of yogurt.
Mm.
So we have that to look forward to. So I hope, I don't know if it's going to sound any different to you at home when we play the song.
It shouldn't. The song should sound the same. We might sound a little different, but
we're in a different place, so the song might sound
find
different.
Let's see. Let's see how this goes. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 1. Keep a tidy house for them. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 2. Be sure to clip their claws. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 3. Scoop their box daily. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 4. Brush them with a hairbrush. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 5. Don't squeeze their paws hard. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 6. Give them some fresh water. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 7. Let them have a fish. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 8. Buy them a scratching post. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 9. Put them in your lap. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 10. Be quiet when they're sleeping. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 11. Whisper, I love you. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 12. Rub their soft belly. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 13. Make sure their tail is clean. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 14. Give them a yarn ball. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 15. Make them a nice bed. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 16. Buy him some catnip. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 17. Play them some music. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 18. Get them a cute collar. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 19. Make sure they're vaccinated. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 20. Take their picture. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 21. Brush their teeth. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 22. Let them watch TV. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 23. Don't let them be outside by themselves. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 24. Feed them some cat food. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 25. Make sure their eyes are clean. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 26. Put a liner in their box. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 27. Give them a mat to wipe their feet on. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 28. Don't forget them on Christmas. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 29. Make sure there's spayed or neutered. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Weigh 30. Hold them like a baby. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Weigh 31. Let them have a towel or blanket. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Weigh 32. Keep your toilet lid down. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Weigh 33. Don't let them chew on power cords. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Weigh 34. Set them by the window. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Weigh 35. Cat-proof your home. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Weigh 36. Change their litter weekly. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Weigh 37. Praise them lavishly. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Weigh 38. Never feed him chicken bones. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Weigh 39. Teach them a funny trick. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Weigh 40. Give them a toy mouse. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Weigh 41. Clean up their hairballs. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Weigh 42. Keep them away from candles. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Weigh 43. Give him a separate zone. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Weigh 44. Never play with them aggressively. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 45. Increase his cuddle time. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 46. Be sure to watch his weight. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 47. If you leave, turn on the radio. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 48. Scold him firmly but with kindness. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 49. Respond when he meows. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 50. Give them a thing of cat grass. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 51. Scratch under his chin. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 52. Remind him that you love him. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 53. Give them a box to play in. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 54. If they're old, help them get down. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 55. Let them lick you with their rough tongue. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 56. Record precious memories. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 57. Dress them up in ribbons. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 58. Give them a flea treatment. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 59. Make a vet appointment. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 60. Give them a little wet food. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 61. When they scratch you, don't get angry. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 62. Give them some private time. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 63. Treat them with respect. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 64. When he grooms himself, say good job. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 65. Let them chase a laser pointer. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 66. Clean out their ears. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 67. Never smoke around them. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 68. Buy a sturdy cat carrier. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 69. Listen to them purr. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 70. Tempted by temptations. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 71. Give them your full attention. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 72. Don't trap them in the laundry basket. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 73. Let them sleep in bed with you. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 74. Make sure they're not locked in the closet. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 75. Don't let them play in plastic bags. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 76. Give them a massage. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 77. Touch him as you pass by. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 78. If he's on the couch, don't be mad. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 79. If they hate fans, turn the fan off. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 80. When there's a bird outside, say, hey, look! 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 81. Intrigue them with a funny sound. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 82. Don't forget sardine time. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 83. Let him play with your old socks. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 84. Stroke in the direction that his fur goes. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 85. Admire his long whiskers. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 86. Keep his box away from his food. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 87. Pretend that he's a piano. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 88. Don't interrupt them while they're eating. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 89. When they're scared, go and comfort them. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 90. Let him have a lick. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 91. If their breath stinks, give them greenies. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 92. Give him a ball with a bell in it. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 93. If it's hot, put ice in their bowl. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 94. Let him drink out of the sink. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 95. Don't vacuum if it scares him. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 96. Draw a picture of him. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 97. If you drop some food, it's theirs now. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 98. Read him a book. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 99. Feed him again. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 100. Just love them every day. 100 loving ways. 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 100, 100, 100, 100 ways to love a cat. There you have it.
Well, if it sounded different, it sounded better.
I think this does nothing, but I don't think there's a way, because the song where it's not being performed live, so there's no way for it to sound. I don't think there's a possible for it to sound different, depending on the location. Anyway, sure, you can put fancy effects on it. You can make it more bassy or trembly, or however you want it, whatever you want to twist the knobs on it to do.
But we don't do that.
No, of course. Well, we wouldn't do that. No. It's perfect as is. But as far as where we're at doing that I don't think that has any...
Well, hopefully we're going to be here for a long spell.
I'm planning on it. You got to come and force me to get out of here.
I do not want to unhook these buttons and this stick and the thing on it. Just too much. Too much. And I love this song and I want to share it, but I can't keep going from shed to shed anymore.
Well, no, I feel like we're at home. I really do. And
that's good. Well, I'm glad I'm here with you.
And maintenance will eventually, I think they keep saying that's not going to be a problem. It's only happened. I mean, because we were here practicing all week. This is our first one coming from this location, but we practiced.
Did you get the feeling they didn't expect us to be here as much as we're here?
At first, but then, everybody kind of got to know one another, and
right.
They have to fix that either way, whether we're here or not, if that gets backed up, because we're not the ones using that restroom, because we know how often it's going to get backed up. So I hike it over, across the other side of where it's, there's activity.
Oh, I go at home.
Well, yes, I do too. I try not to go, but there's
but
always
I didn't
emergency.
Even think. I thought, well, I'm just screwed until I get home.
I always try to save it.
Oh, well,
home.
That's going to. Okay, great. Thanks.
Well, I don't know.
I'll be honest, I wasn't going to bring it up because I try to make this a positive experience, but that was the only drawback. When people say, how's it going at the podcast kiosk at the mall? And I say, oh, it's fantastic. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, except for the bathroom.
Yeah.
I have to wait all day.
But I think they think, no, the one backing up. That's two bathroom problems that you're experiencing. I'm talking about just the bathroom when it doesn't flush right in the water, it all comes out, and all of the
right.
It's a mess. Yes. Don't go to that bathroom.
I don't. That's what I'm saying. I go at home.
I see. Okay. All right.
I have to wait.
Well, I hope you join us next week. We'll be back here again. Hopefully there'll be some fixes. There's always going to be improvements on this podcast, I can guarantee, because it's just going to get better and better and better. Thank you for joining us. We look to play this song for you next week.